Spectre here with Null, and
Hello.
we're gonna talk about Tien today.
The bald Triclops. I'm excited because you know what? I'm a Tien connoisseur. That was my favorite character.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know it's been said to death that Tien is underrated, but you know what? I still think people don't quite get how dirty they've done Tien.
Tien needs his own show.
Well, I think it'd be better than Super.
Yeah, it probably would. And you know what? I'd actually tune in and be like, wow, I can't wait for the next episode. Instead of being like, man, when will it end? Anyways,
so listen, Tien, he's got a lot going for him. For one, and I think the one that everybody brings up first, is that he won the 20-second tournament.
He did win the 20-second tournament, and although it was a technicality, technically speaking, that's a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing about the win, that like even if he was just even with Goku, right? It's really the only character that's ever been even with Goku. Because if you think about it, Krillin, he started off being weaker than Goku. Yamcha lost to Goku as soon as they met. Yeah. Like really, most of the characters have been weaker than Goku, except for Tien.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think a lot of characters can really say that. I mean, granted, as the series progresses, the characters are just stronger than Goku, but Tien...
Of the Z fighters, though.
Yeah, Tien was on equal level.
Yeah.
I'd even say, like, you know, I'm not trying to jump the shark, but in the 23rd martial arts tournament, I'd argue that Tien is still kind of equal with Goku.
Yeah, I mean, he does lose pretty squarely, but he's still one of the strongest. Like, the strongest. Yeah. And the show makes that clear. And they kind of make it clear that he's at least the strongest human at that point in time.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a good reason why. Tien just never stops training. Like, you look at everyone else, and you know, like Yamcha, you know, he plays baseball. You know, Krillin, you know, eventually he gets 18 and, you know, he
settles down. Yeah.
But Tien never stops training.
Anytime you see Tien, he's always by like some waterfall meditating.
You know, and Chiatsu's always with him, training as well.
You'd figure Chiatsu would be like about equal.
Well, I wouldn't say equal, but like Chiatsu is also always training with Tien.
With Tien.
So,
and I mean, I know we were dunking on Super earlier, but Tien eventually gets his own dojo.
His own dojo. Listen, we're gonna get to Super later, because honestly, Super does him dirty as well.
Yeah. But Tien, with how often he trains, he should at least be on like Piccolo levels, because Piccolo always trains.
That's true. Piccolo is, in fact, Piccolo and Tien have a very similar attitude in terms of like
training.
Yeah,
how serious it is to them.
I also think it's a shame that, you know, Tien isn't as paid attention to, because honestly, he's one of the more unique Z fighters. Because like, if you think about it, right? Like Yamcha and Krillin, like both of their signatures are also Kamehameha.
Yeah, I mean, Yamcha's got Wolf Fang Fist.
Yeah,
Krillin's got Destructo, whatever he wanted to make.
Sure, but Tien comes from his own school, which I think is really interesting, and he has like the cloning power.
Yeah, he can do the forearms, which I don't know how useful that really is, but
also he is the original user of the solar flare.
Yeah, I mean, you could say he invented the solar flare.
And ironically, we get to see him using it the least throughout Z.
Funny enough, everyone stole that from him. They're like, I gotta take one from Tien's
book. This move's too good.
This move is too good. I gotta take one from his page, his book.
Not to mention flying. He was the first one to fly.
He was the first one to fly, yeah. You know, like, obviously this isn't his move, but just to showcase how impressive he was, he did the Kamehameha.
Yeah, I mean, Goku did too, like, just after seeing it. But, I mean, Tien did it mid-battle. Yeah.
Like, he didn't really have to spend too much time, like, you know, observing it. He was just like, you know what, man? Just to show you we're not on equal level, like, you know, I'm levels above you, I'm just gonna do your own move.
That's true. Not to mention, he's got the Tri-Beam, which is its own kind of unique move. I mean, I know that all Blast and DBZ are kind of...
It's just laser beams, man.
But, you know, at least there's the distinction with the Tri-Beam that he's, like, hurting himself.
It's like, it drains his life energy
and
when he uses it.
It helps him to the point where he was actually holding off, like, Imperfect Cell.
Yeah, which was a great scene, by the way. And that was, like, the Neo Tri-Beam, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, he's, like, constantly shooting.
Right, yeah.
But,
I mean, that scene just showed how much potential Tien had.
I feel like, you know what? Because it's like you said, Piccolo and Tien always feel like they have the same mindset about things. Because, you know, Piccolo's always coming up with new moves, too. Like the Hell Zone Grenade and Special Beam King. He literally said, like, man, I've been coming up with some new moves. It almost feels like Tien got shafted in favor of Piccolo when they both kind of are like the same character in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, Tien was even kind of a villain, just like Piccolo. So, I mean, you could argue Tien was like the original
Piccolo. Well, let's be honest, man. Tien really was the original Piccolo. He was like the original Vegeta.
I mean, if we want to get down to it, Yamcha was sort of a villain, but he wasn't really a villain in...
That would imply that Yamcha was a threat.
That's true, he wasn't. But that's true, like, the whole trope of, like, the villains turning good, like, Tien was the first.
He was the first one, yeah.
Well, so, I mean, this brings us to our main point, is that, like, honestly, Tien's been kind of wasted, and, like, the main chance that they had to bring him back was actually the Buu Saga, when he actually came to help. But then he got one-shot by Buu.
But if you... Look, he did. But I still respect that. He was, like, the only other person that was, like, willing to try.
Okay, but, like, at least, like, don't get one-shot. Like, I'm not saying, like, do a lot of damage to Buu. Because, like, obviously, you know... That's a lot to ask.
You're asking too much of Tien.
But, like, they made it seem like he was about to get this whole badass moment.
Yeah, he had the fit.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I like
Honestly,
the blue.
He came in with some serious drip. But, like, dude, that's the thing. Is, you know, I was like, oh, man, Tien is here. And then nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. That was his chance.
Yeah, but that's, like, one of the first... Like, not one of the first instances, because if you really want, like, it kind of sucks that in the Saiyan Saga, Tien really didn't do anything.
I mean, he put up a decent-ish fight against Nappa. I wouldn't say it was the best fight, but I mean, everyone kind of got wrecked.
Yeah, he blew dust at him. That's what Nappa described it as, like, man, nice dust.
But you know, the other thing too, though, is like that the Saiyan Saga doesn't like upset me that much, but what does upset me is like afterwards, you know, when he is dead and you know he trains with King Kai, he doesn't learn the Kaioken, and I get it. They wanted it to be Goku's move.
Yeah, that's Goku's move.
But if there's anyone that deserved it, like other than Goku, it was Tien. I mean, think about it. He's used to using moves that hurt him.
Yeah. He's got a... What is that called?
Oh, no.
He likes getting hurt, man. In reality, they all should have learned it. Because they were all there together.
Well, maybe like they just weren't like talented enough to learn it.
Tien...
But like, Tien should have been.
Should have. Yeah. Piccolo, too, if you really think about it. Like, they're both talented enough.
But maybe Piccolo was like, yeah, I don't need that.
He's stubborn. He wouldn't want to learn that.
Yeah.
Like,
but Tien, though, of all the characters that should have learned it,
should have been the one to learn
Tien.
It. That reminds me of all those fan arts that I've seen of him doing Kaioken. Dude, he's like going up to Majin Buu as a Kaioken. He looks like he's going to win. And then, you know, it's followed by... you know, some like it's an AMV. It's like heavy metal music. Like some Disturbed plays in the background. They're just like, I feel like they should have spent more time like with some of Tien's like lore to like, dude, what's with the third eye, huh? I know there's like a reason behind that, but maybe have him do something with it.
I mean, I I thought it was just like a stylistic choice, but I think it's kind of weird that as a human, he's the only.
He's got a third eye.
Yeah.
I mean, Krillin doesn't have a nose. Maybe there's something there.
I mean, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Toriyama was just like,
they walked
cool.
around, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z Chernobyl and got radiation poisoning.
But honestly, everything we've just said is made even worse in Super, which, like, listen, don't even get me started on all the dumb stuff that Super does.
Humans don't matter.
Yeah, but I think to make matters worse, like, they make Krillin the strongest human, which, like, makes no sense at all, actually.
You know what's funny? When they were training for the Tournament of Power, I just remembered Krillin invents like a stronger solar flare. And it's like, you know,
like Tien should have
learned that. Yeah, he should have learned that and used it. I might be wrong, but I do think Tien lasted longer than Krillin in the Tournament
that might
of Power.
be the case.
I'd have to go back and look. Not that I want to watch it, but
I mean, the thing about it that frustrates me is, like, Tien literally, like, even more so in Super, because, like, literally Krillin retired in Super.
But
so,
Tien just doesn't stop.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. He opened a dojo. He straight up just keeps going.
And they still shaft him.
In fact, you could even argue that he should have been stronger than Goku in the Saiyan saga, because Goku did settle down, and you can imply that he stopped training as hard because he had Gohan, and he started a family.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they weren't gonna make Tien stronger, but
no,
but he had all the right to be.
Yeah, it's a nice what if to think about. What if Tien actually wasn't wasted?
And that's why they've done my boy Tien dirty.